Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to crack the micronutrient code. We're talking about those tiny but seriously mighty powerhouses hidden in your food. You know, the ones that have a huge impact on how you feel day in and day out.
All right, so let's kick things off with a bit of a health mystery, one that you might find, hits a little close to home. Do any of these sound familiar to you?
Like, are you finding yourself squinting a lot more than you used to, or maybe you've noticed your eyesight just isn't quite as sharp as it once was? Or what about this one? Just feeling tired all the time. I mean, that deep down exhaustion that just sticks around no matter how much sleep you get. And then there's something maybe a little more specific, like, say, some unexplained swelling in your neck. Now, on the surface, these things seem totally unrelated, right? But what if I told you they could all point back to one single hidden cause? So the answer? It's not some big, complicated medical secret. It's actually way closer to home. In fact, it's sitting right there on your plate. It's hidden in the food you eat every single day. So it's time to pull back the curtain and meet the real heroes of this story, the micronutrients. So what in the world are micronutrients? Well, simply put, they're the vitamins and minerals your body absolutely needs. And get this, while the amounts are tiny, I mean, we're talking milligrams or even micrograms here, their impact is absolutely massive. It's kind of like they're the spark plugs for your body's engine. Without them, nothing's going to run right. Okay, so what's their job description? Well, you can think of it as a three-part mission. First, they're the construction crew, helping your body grow and repair itself. Then, they're like the traffic controllers, regulating all of your body's functions. And finally, they're your personal bodyguards, building up that immune shield to protect you from diseases. All right, let's get practical. It's time to crack open the first chapter, the vitamin playbook. Yeah, you can think of this as your personal user's guide to the first big category of micronutrients. First thing you gotta know is that vitamins basically fall into two different teams. On one side, you've got your fat-soluble vitamins. That's A, D, E, and K. Think of these like a rechargeable battery. Your body stores them in your fat for later. But then you have the water-soluble vitamins like B-complex and C. These guys are more like a running tap. Your body uses what it needs and then just flushes out the rest. And that means you've got to replenish them every single day. Let's kick things off with vitamin A. This one is the absolute champion of good eyesight. Remember that squinting we mentioned earlier? Well, a lack of vitamin A can actually lead to night blindness. You'll find it in all those awesome, colorful foods like carrots and spinach. So here's a super simple tip. When you think vitamin A, just think color. Okay, next up, vitamin D. This one is basically calcium's best friend. Its whole job is to help your body absorb all that calcium you need for strong bones and teeth. Now, you can find it in foods like milk, eggs, and fish, but its most famous source is, well, something else entirely. Yup, you guessed it, sunlight. Vitamin D is famously called the sunshine vitamin for a reason. Your body is like this little factory that literally produces it when your skin gets some sun. I mean, how cool is that? All right, let's do a quick fire round for two more of these fat-soluble players. First, you've got vitamin E, which is super important for reproductive health. You'll find that in things like nuts and oils. Then there's vitamin K, which is like your body's emergency medic. You'll find it in green leafy vegetables, and its job is to help your blood clot. Seriously, without enough of it, even a tiny cut could become a really big problem. Okay, moving on to the water-soluble team, and we're starting with B-complex. Now, this isn't just one vitamin. It's more like a whole crew working together. They're crucial for brain and nerve health and for making red blood cells. If you don't get enough, it can lead to some really serious issues like beriberi, which, affects your heart and nervous system. And of course, there's the famous vitamin C. Just think of it as your immune system's frontline soldier. It's out there fighting off infections and keeping your gums and skin healthy. A serious lack of it is what causes scurvy, that old disease that plagues sailors for centuries. And that's exactly why loading up on oranges, lemons, and all those citrus fruits is so important. So, we've covered the vitamins. Now it's time to move on to the second major type of micronutrient, your essential minerals. And when I say they're the body's building blocks, I mean that literally. And first up is the one we all know and love, calcium. It's the main ingredient for building strong bones and teeth. In fact, get this, over 99% of your body's calcium is stored right there. Now, of course, you can get it from dairy, but don't forget about powerful plant-based sources like spinach. All right, next on the list is iron, and this is where we solve one of those mysteries from the beginning. See, iron's main gig is to make hemoglobin. That's the protein that basically acts like a taxi for oxygen in your blood. So if you don't have enough iron, you can't get enough oxygen to your cells. And the result? Anemia. And its number one symptom? You guessed it, that constant, nagging tiredness we talked about right at the start. And that brings us to our final mineral, iodine. This little guy is the master controller of your body's metabolism, which is all run by your thyroid gland. And remember that other mystery, the unexplained swelling in the neck? The condition is called goitre, and the solution is often unbelievably simple. Just getting enough iodized salt. See? It all comes full circle. So we've just unpacked the roles of all these different vitamins and minerals. After all that info, you might be asking, what's the big takeaway here? Well, it's all about putting these pieces together to build your own personal health shield. So let's do a quick recap of the most important points to remember. 1. Vitamins and minerals are absolutely vital micronutrients. 2. Your body needs them in small but totally non-negotiable amounts to stay healthy. And 3. Their whole job is to prevent specific diseases and just keep your entire system running like a well-oiled machine. So what's the ultimate strategy here? What's the secret sauce? Well, it's not about obsessing over supplements or memorizing a bunch of charts. The simple, powerful truth is just eat a balanced diet. And the easiest way to do that? Eat the rainbow. Seriously, just fill your plate with a whole variety of colorful fruits, vegetables, and whole foods. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Think about your diet like a daily deposit you make into your long-term health bank. Every single meal is an investment. So the real question is, are you investing wisely?